Hi, friends, welcome in. Today's conversation is around a specific oil that is great for jet lag, great to add in your shampoo. It's really great for your respiratory support, and I wonder if you can name it. So, friends, stay tuned. You're listening to the Essential Oils Scoop podcast. We're here to help you confidently using essential oils in your daily life. No fluff, just real talk and practical tips. Each episode brings you education, inspiration, and of course, our scoop of the day. Let's elevate your wellness one drop at a time. I think that jet lag throws us off because I don't think of this oil as an oil to support jet lag. We're in the midst of summer right now by the time this lands on your ears, and so there's a lot of travel. Friends, this is a great companion for travel, and there's many
Yeah.
reasons why. We are talking all about rosemary.
I was just when I was looking in the book just now for a few seconds, I was looking at adrenal fatigue. This is not the oil I usually pick up for adrenal fatigue. That's usually basil. So
Mhm.
rosemary for adrenal fatigue and chronic fatigue and head tension, headaches, mental fatigue. I was like, huh, I need to be using rosemary a whole heck of a lot more than I'm using it right now because
Yeah.
this is a really good one. Mental fatigue can, I think it'd probably be easier to say if you don't get mental fatigue, raise your hand because I feel like there would be less people who would raise their hand when they say, I don't ever get mental fatigue. Really?
I don't know another human that would say that, but there might be a few. Let's be friends. I don't know any yet. But the low blood pressure. So there's a caveat with this, and maybe Sarah, you can expand on this. But fainting, dizziness, low blood pressure, rapid heartbeat. It says inhale from cupped hands, apply under the nose or back of neck and bottoms of feet. Have you ever had a client use this because of a rapid heartbeat or low blood pressure before?
So I've used it personally. For that, I haven't. Um, I had all my entire life, I've had a low blood pressure, like pretty much my entire life. Only in the last year or two has it gone up higher. Um, but then I'm like, here's what a very wise doctor told me. You know how you have the what is it called? Pneumatic blood pressure cuff, right? Like the auto blood pressure cuff or whatever. Have you ever
Mhm.
had it where it like starts to do it and then it has to push more, push more, push more, push more?
Yes. Hmm.
Okay. So that happens generally when you're getting low blood pressure and then it just starts to hurt, right? Like your arm starts to hurt because they're doing it. I prefer manual. I prefer somebody, blowing up that blood pressure cuff themselves. For me,
Hmm.
it is always way more accurate. So what happens for me is they will pump and they will pump and they will pump. And that machine, because I register very low, will continue pumping like it's like trying to make sure I'm not dead. And so it keeps going and going and going and hurting my arm. I mean, the last time I had to have that done when I had a little ER scare, um, my arm was bruised. And I'm not
Ouch.
kidding. I had lines
Mm.
of bruises on my biceps and on my arms because it just kept going and going and going. And then it was high. Of course, it's high. When you experience pain, your blood pressure
What
goes up
happens?
because you're
Yes.
scared and it's hurting. And so your blood is pumping to like try to get you to like do something, right? So you've got like, anyway. That is a tangent I should not have gone on. But if this is happening to you, and then all of a sudden it's like your blood pressure is super high, they're like, why is your blood pressure so high? And you're like, I don't know, I don't feel that stressed. But your body is stressed because you're in pain because the stupid blood pressure cuff is like cutting off circulation and your fingers are turning blue. Like, this is the problem.
I so if I were you, and again, we don't diagnose, prescribe, or treat, if you are going to your PCP and they check your blood sugar as soon as you get in, blood pressure, sorry, I would ask them to wait or take it again. I've gotten into a very good habit of asking them to take it again because either the walk from your car to, the room, vice versa, you're nervous, you're anxious, that's going to spike your blood pressure.
Mhm.
So I would never just rely on that one reading ever, in my opinion. So, but this is a good conversation to have.
Yeah.
Just saying.
But if you're
The
chronically low, this is a good oil to be using when you feel that lightheadedness and that dizziness. So if you've ever
Mhm.
felt that, right? Like if you know, you know.
Yes.
This is one of those moments where if you get up too fast and your head is like, whoa, and all of a sudden you even get like a slight headache from standing up too fast. I don't know if that's ever happened to you, but it happens to me often. And this is why I'm on different thyroid things and different things to help my body because I'm like, hey, I kept putting two and two together and going, why do I keep coming up with five, right? Because two plus two
Mhm.
does not equal five. Why am I having a five result, right? So
Yeah.
I'm been really cognizant over the past year or so of trying to get my body into optimal health. And
Hmm.
this one of these things that's happening with my body with low blood pressure, feeling dizzy, getting headaches fairly easily. These are all things that like dizziness. I thought it was normal to close your eyes when you go to sleep at night and to feel like the whole room is spinning for a very long time.
Oh, my heaven, friend.
I thought
Does
that
that
was
still
normal.
occur or no?
Nope.
Thank you,
Like I
Jesus.
said, I've been on a health journey,
Hmm.
but I was like, one day I was like starting to fall asleep. The room was not spinning, and I was like, what is wrong with me? When I mentioned it to
Like
a
you
doctor,
questioned what's wrong with you
I
because you
questioned,
did not feel that way. Wow.
I
I
didn't
wonder,
know.
friends, if you're listening and this happens to you, know that that isn't normal. And there are some things that you can try to see if it helps you. Wow.
Yeah, I even talked to a
Yeah.
friend about it, and she was like, oh, yeah, that happens to me too. Lo and behold, when I found out that's not normal, I called her and I was like, hey, this isn't normal. She was like, wait,
Uh-huh.
what? I was like, yeah, you probably should talk to your doctor because I had to have a conversation with my doctor. And she was like, yeah, that's not normal. What you're experiencing right now is normal. You're not supposed to have a room spinning every time you go to bed.
Yeah, no. Hmm.
I was like,
I love
oh,
these oils. I love our awareness. And I love that and I hope our listeners are in a place of asking, not assuming everything you hear is truth and finding out for yourself, being your own investigator for your wellness. So this whole list of rosemary, we're going to spend a couple moments here because we get to go into the emotions where Sarah and I love to be. But right under that, it's hair thinning and loss, dandruff, oily hair. I love having rosemary in my bathroom. I do. I enjoy putting one or two drops in my fingertips with wet hair and massaging it onto my scalp and the ends of my hair. I also love, like, there's a lot here. Lack of focus. I have one in my office. Because if you know Vicky, you know I need all the tools I can possibly lean into to help me gather my squirrels into one basket. I mentioned respiratory stuff. Sarah, there's a lot here. What stands out for you?
um, well, one of the things, and I don't see it listed here, but I know that this works really well. And maybe it's because it's under like brain health. This is a really good oil for brain health. But like, I have a friend whose husband had Parkinson's. And this was an oil they leaned into very, very heavily to help with the tremors of Parkinson's.
Really?
Yeah, so this is how she used it. She would put it at the base of the neck, at the base of the stem of your brain stem of your neck, and the back of your head in the occipital area. And she would put like three or four drops, rub it into the back of his head, and it was so interesting how quickly you could actually physically see the tremors hold out. Like,
Wow.
I remember watching him hold a book and I mean, just could not even hold the book steady. She put a couple of drops on him and I was astounded. I was really shocked at how quickly it worked for her. Or for him, I should say. But as soon as she put it on. So that is one thing I really love about rosemary. I always tell people about that experience because I witnessed it myself. Witnessed full-blown tremor and then for the tremor to just like slow down I want to say stop, but I mean, it doesn't stop the tremors 100%, but it just like gets it to like a manageable. So take that for whatever you want to take that for. If that's something you know, someone who's struggling with that, I think that's a really key point of rosemary. But there's so much here. Rosemary should be in every single medicine cabinet across
Mhm.
America, across the world. Like it really should be you've more used.
Mhm.
Um, what another thing it talks about is prostate urinary nighttime urination. If you've got kiddos that have bedwetting issues, this mixed with cypress is a fantastic thing. This is really good for prostate issues. A lot of men who have prostate issues will get up and go and urinate multiple times in the night and disrupt their sleep. If that is happening, um, I would definitely use this in a capsule before
Mhm.
bed every single night. I would also use it topically along the prostate area,
Mhm.
um, heavily diluted just to be comfortable. Um,
Mhm. I mean,
and
one of those dropper bottles, like seriously, I have one for show and tell here, like this
mhm.
size, diluted already, right? We want to make daily use very easy. We don't have to think about it. A little dropper bottle on your clean hands, do that, wash them. Like, we don't have to overcomplicate that. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah. So that like those are the couple things that I personally like to use this for. Yeah, rosemary in your hair, more shampoo, all the things that you were just talking about because it's very common, right? It's
Hmm.
very common to use lavender and rosemary in your shampoo.
Hmm.
Um, it's really good for muscle weakness and tiredness. Like
Hmm.
if you've got some tired muscle issues or it's a natural steroid. Did you read that? Like that's pretty cool.
I did know. Yes, I did read it. Sorry, I'm in my head thinking you can, hear the words I'm not saying. I did not know. I don't recall ever reading that, but it makes sense to me. And I was looking at the gout pain, bone pain. This is coming from the book, the Essential Life book, okay, friends? Like, we're not making this stuff up here. I know plenty of people, one guy in particular that has gout, massive flare-ups. Gout's not fun. The pain
It's
associated
crazy.
with gout is real pain that real people feel. If you know, you know.
Mhm.
And if you're a type 2 diabetic, type 1 diabetic, the chances of having neuropathy, having gout are higher, are increased because your inflammatory responses are just on fire. And so, why not? It says apply to the area of concern. For me, what stood out was the liver and kidney issues. And the book is saying apply to the bottoms of the feet and take it in a capsule internally. Well, let me tell you, I fell out of rhythm with taking it internally. I apply it topically more often than not, but the delivery system matters as well. So if this book is suggesting, taking it internally, you're going to get different results if you only apply it topically versus internally. And and I hope that sparks like, something for you to remember. I'm going to apply it to the bottoms of my feet, but I get to also take it internally. So for liver and kidney support, absolutely. The lymphatic drainage, like if you have a high inflammatory response, most likely your lymphatic system is also not properly drained, but it's not drained. Flushed? Where would you put there? Like,
Well, so naturally, our lymphatic system, so like we don't actually have a pump that pumps our
correct.
lymphatic system. So it's actually walking and moving our arms and legs actually creates the pump, right? So
Hmm.
let's give it a little boost, right? If we're going to jump on
Hmm.
a treadmill or a walking pad, or you're going to go for a walk in your neighborhood, or maybe a jog or whatever,
Hmm.
put this on some of your lymphatic areas with a carrier oil because, of course, we want you to, again, be comfortable. I don't think rosemary is warm at all. It doesn't bother my skin at all, but I
Same.
want you to be careful and I want you to try it, right? Like,
Hmm.
as soon as you know what your skin can handle, you know what your skin can handle. But put like dilute it, put a little bit onto your behind your legs, and behind your knees, and like start using maybe in your armpit area and like help with some of that lymphatic drainage because we need the extra support. If you are not moving your body, legs and arms on a consistent basis, you probably have some lymphatic um, circulation issues.
Hmm. Yes. Yeah. And I think, I mean, both Sarah and I work from home. We're blessed to work from home. I think it's easier for us to be at our desks, consumed with all the things we get to do. And sometimes movement can be sparse versus when you're in an office, you have to go to another cubicle when you teach. Like you're just moving more frequently. So I know for me, I get to have this as an aid. So yeah, friends, get the book. There's some things that we just didn't make time to discuss here. This is a great resource. We always have it linked. Like, do we have this linked
Always.
actually?
Yes,
Yeah,
always. It's always
always.
linked in every episode in the show notes. It's on YouTube, it's in the description or whatever. It's always there. You have no excuse of why you have not been able to find this book or be able to purchase it. It is available.
Yeah,
Please. It is a fantastic like it's so beautiful. Like it's
it
such a
is.
beautiful book
It is.
and it
Hmm.
has so much information at your
Hmm.
fingertips. You can just like my goodness, you can spend hours and upon days with this book. Like it's so good, chock full of information. You know, Vicky and I, we go to this because, like I said, we use this for certain things, right? So one of my
Hmm.
favorite oils to diffuse in my kitchen is rosemary and lemon. Love rosemary and lemon together in my kitchen. Absolutely love it, right? I should be putting it in my office, not just my kitchen. It's so good. Like think about mental
For
focus and
focus.
lucidity. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that we learn and relearn and then relearn again. So, friends, yeah, take action. Let's pivot over to the emotions, though, before we let you guys go on your day. Rosemary is the essential oil of knowledge and transition. Rosemary assists in the development of true knowledge and true intellect. It teaches that one can be instructed from a far greater space and understanding than the human mind. It challenges individuals to look deeper than they normally would and ask more soul searching questions so they may receive more inspired answers. Yeah, super, super cool. Rosemary assists individuals who struggle with learning difficulties. It brings expansion to the mind, supporting the individuals in receiving new information and new experiences. That alone, right there, that first sentence in the second paragraph, Rosemary assists individuals who struggle with learning difficulties. Hi, maybe you didn't know. Now you know. Not ashamed of it whatsoever. But this tool can be that supportive. Absolutely. That's another reason why it's in my office as well. I love it. Sarah, what else do you love about the emotional support of this oil?
I love so it's knowledge in transition is what it is, right? And so I love that it talks about aids in times of transition and change. Now, if you know me personally, you know we move often sometimes. Like every few years we are moving and transition and change is inevitable for me. And I love that it helps with your adjusting into a new home. This was actually an oil that I was diffusing when we first moved into this house. I was diffusing this in lemon actually in my living room because I knew that we were going to have a transition period and I knew I needed the emotional support of this oil as we made that transition. And I remember a few weeks ago, my nephew's wife walked into my house and we were talking, and she goes, I am so impressed at how like settled you guys are into this house already. Like, I'm so impressed. And I was like, and I'm thinking to myself, I think it's because, first of all, I know what I'm doing. Like, this is not my first rodeo. But second of all, I really do feel like when I diffuse the rosemary, typically I do rosemary and lemon, and then I do like to add a drop or two of peppermint to that mixture as well to help me to stay mentally focused and very um mentally acute in whatever I'm trying to do. So I don't get distracted by going from box to box and not finishing the last box that I unpack, like
So
half
easy to do.
unboxing.
Uh-huh.
It's so easy to get like caught up and you're like, oh, I'm looking for a specific thing. And then you're like going from box to box versus like, okay, you got to unpack that entire box first, put it
Mhm.
all away, then you can get the next box out, right? Um, so I love that this is a great oil for helping with those transitions. And that might not be a new house. Maybe your kids need some transitioning. Maybe they're going to a new school this year. Maybe they're transitioning from like elementary school to a middle school, or from middle school to high school, or from high school to college. Like maybe there's some transitions that are being met in school, or maybe you're starting a new relationship or ending an old relationship and there's a transition into singlehood, or maybe there's a transformation into couplehood, or whatever it is, there might be a transition. This is going to help us to have that perspective that um, we need sometimes in those transitions, to give us that stability, to give us the mental awareness, and maybe even like some comfort and support in making those transitions. And I love this last paragraph where it talks about it invites individuals to trust in a higher, more intelligent power than themselves. Like, I love that sentence. And it supports them in feeling confident and assured during times of great change in understanding or perspective. Rosemary roots them into true knowledge that surpasses all understanding. So if you are going through these things, if you're going through some transition, some change, some things that like you weren't expecting, most of us don't
Mhm.
expect change. We're creatures of habit versus change. Now,
Mhm.
some of us love change. I like change. I am very adaptable. Adaptability is one of my number one strengths. And so like change doesn't like freak me out like it does other people. But I also know with changes comes transitions, and transitions can be hard when you are getting into that mode.
Yeah. I I'm so happy that we're talking about rosemary today because I needed the reminder of some of its ability to work through us in these certain ways. Like I had like three or four sparks of, oh wow, I get to choose to use rosemary for this and that. And that's the beauty of these conversations we have and hold with the Essential Oil Scoop podcast because I don't remember all the things. I don't. I'm human. And I feel like when we have these conversations and it gives me so many more sparks and downloads of, oh wow, I forgot about that. I'm so happy I am reminded. Or I'm like, oh wait, I start thinking of that friend that could use it for this way just because I don't need it for that. Like it sparks, and then I automatically leave myself a little note real fast, put their name on it, and then I get to message them. Be like, hey, this is what I relearned. By the way, this would be beneficial for you if you're ready for it. So, knowledge and transition, I like the fact that Rosemary, you get to lean on Rosemary's confidence and just like that higher power. Like I always connect it back to God. I know you do too. To me, this is great because I want to feel more clarity. I want to have more clarity. I want to be enlightened. I want to be able to adjust and adapt in certain areas of my life a little faster. So if this is like a cheat code to help me do that, then I sign me up. Sign me up. I like rosemary and lemongrass together. Have you ever done that? Like,
No, I think I get into a habit of just rosemary and lemon, but I'm sure lemongrass would be really good with rosemary. Truth, I'm not always a big, huge lemongrass fan. Like, I know I have my issues, and I know I need to work, and I am working on those issues, but like, yeah, I haven't done that one. So that one's a good one. I'll try that one.
yeah, I just like sneaking it in and okay, like the hoarding, like I get it. I hear you, totally hear you. But I've noticed if I do like one or two of lemongrass, because Sarah and I are heavy pourers, one or two of lemongrass, and this is my scoop of the day. Actually, I'm just gonna say it. If you are still spring cleaning, if you're in transition of rearranging your bedroom, your living room, things like that. Like yesterday, there's I brought in a rocking chair into my house, and I'm like, where the heck is this gonna go? I wanted it. I have it, but where the heck is it gonna live? So it's in a little corner, but I need inspiration and execution. So with rosemary, with lemongrass and lemon, of course, that would be great. I feel like that will give me the extra oomph I need to figure it out without dwelling on it. Does that make sense?
No, it
Like,
does. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
yeah, I'm
I was
excited. That's
diffusing a lot of lemongrass when we first moved into this house because of that, like that idea of, okay, I need to part with it. If I can't find a home for it, I need to part with it. Like there's
Mhm,
things that I needed to part with that I packed that I
mhm,
was like, ooh, if I have a place for it, I want to keep this. But if I don't, I need to
mhm,
let go. So I've been letting go of a lot of things. So I was diffusing a lot of lemongrass at the time. The other thing I was doing was brave. I was doing
yeah,
a lot of brave. The
that's an
courage
awesome
to
choice.
get rid of stuff too. Um, but yeah, I think I love rosemary and lemon together and peppermint, just a drop or two of
Mm,
peppermint. It's a great homework blend to be diffusing in your house. If you're doing homework time, it's a great oil to be diffusing again when you're trying to like focus on getting things accomplished and you're going through some transition or some change. This is a good one for the entire household. Like you should be diffusing this. If you've got these oils, use them.
yeah, I love it. Sarah, what's your scoop of the day, friend?
Use your oils, like literally use them. Five drops of lemon, 3 drops of rosemary, and like 1 to 2 drops of peppermint in your diffuser. And I think this will really help with some of that clarity, that mental clarity that we're all looking for.
Mm.
Thanks for tuning in, and we hope you enjoyed today's episode and are feeling inspired to dive in even deeper into the world of essential oils. Want exclusive offers, content, and recipes? Click on the newsletter link in the show notes today. Looking for even more wellness inspiration? Dive into our previous episodes and stay in the loop by following us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at the Essential Oil Scoop Podcast. Thanks for being a part of our Essential Oil family. And remember, hit the subscribe button to be notified every time we upload a brand new episode.